welcome back to the Captain's Quadrant, section 31 and a half, as we have questions. We are very excited today because we get a twofer. We have the amazing Jonathan Del Arco and Trisha Di Fazio. Am I saying that right? No, I got it. Got it. That Portuguese goes a long way sometimes. Get some of the other ones. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we're super excited to chat with you today and talk about your amazing new book that we got a chance to check out. It's called Freddy the Alien, and it is a wonderful, I just got to say from my heart, it's just a wonderful book for what's going on in the current situation and climate of the United States these days. And I'm really glad and appreciate you guys were able to come up with something like this and really have a monumentous moment for people that are otherwise alienated, I'll say. So,
Joe, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're new to the channel, my name's Joe Dove, and this is Jason Roy-Gaston. Of course, we are joined by two wonderful people in the Trekverse. So please like, share, and subscribe, all those wonderful things to help the algorithm to make sure everybody checks this out. And this goes far and wide, as all of you guys normally do anyway. So I don't know why I keep saying it. Anyway,
Nobody wants to hear you talk right now, Joe. Let's go.
All right, Jason, kick us off, buddy. Go for it.
All right. So, Mr. Fazio, Mr. Del Arco, I am the manager of a book chain, and I would like you right now to tell me what your book is about and sell it to me. Why should people read this publication?
This is my life story. So that in itself has some importance, in my opinion. I think when you tell an authentic story about yourself, it's almost always a place where someone can get something out of that story. We tell it with humor. We tell it in a way that's tailored to children, in a way that it gives young people hope and a view into the possibilities of what their lives could be. It talks about some of my obstacles when I was a kid. It talks about some of the things that I thought made me an alien and different, which then turned out to be my biggest gifts. What gave me the most success in the world was the fact that I was very different from everyone else. And so I think it's a really important book for children and their parents, or for adults to read. And in terms of the timing that Joe mentioned, we've been working on this for a couple of years. I've been working on my life story for over 15 years in one way or another. And when we got to the point where we had found our artist and our illustrator and were ready to go, we realized we wanted to rush and get this out there this summer for a couple of reasons. One was for what's happening to migrants and immigrants in America, and also to introduce it to the Star Trek family at the Star Trek convention in August. So those were all the elements that came into play.
That's fantastic.
Trisha, I'm sure you have a much more intellectual pitch than I do.
The killer, all right, guys.
Jason, this is a really good under the gun kind of question. So kudos to you for being the first.
I excel in making people uncomfortable. Thank you.
Yeah, that was like fast fire. Over here for it. Good thing Johnny's a board and I was a public school teacher. So we can take it. I think thematically, the message of the book is about belonging and authenticity and being brave and being yourself no matter what. And I think there's a line in the book where we say that Freddy's uniqueness is his superpower. And the fact that it is based on a true story, and there are parts of Johnny's story that are the parts of so many stories of children, whether they're immigrants or not, but who are young and struggling with fitting in or dealing with bullies, or they themselves might be the bully. So there's just this universality in the story itself. And also we made it funny and bilingual. To say nothing of the fact that the pictures are like jump off of this page.
They do, yeah. It's fantastic artwork.
Who did the art for this book anyway? Was
Andrea? I'll let you guys say it because I don't want to mess it up.
Use your Portuguese, Joe.
Portuguese art.
Adria Alvarado. So the way we found her was through our Star Trek family. Actually, we were looking high and low for an art illustrator, and we couldn't seem to find the perfect person that understood the vision we had for the book, because we went with a specific publisher so that we could have an opportunity to have a say in the illustrations. That was a really big part for the two of us. We wanted to look a certain way. We both had a very clear idea. We knew when we saw it, we would have it. And we looked and looked and looked across the planet at artists' books. And no, great artists all around, just not the perfect person. And one day I got tagged by Adria because she had done some of the art on a Star Trek Online that I had just voiced.
Oh.
And she'd drawn Hugh. And it was incredible. It looked like a photograph. And so I DM'd her and said, I'm Jonathan. I wrote this children's book with my friend Trisha DeFazio. I want to see more of your work. I think this might be a really good fit. We're looking for an illustrator. And then I looked at her book, and she had great samples of children's. She hadn't written a children's book yet, or done a children's book yet, but she had great samples of what she would do with one. And it was just a no-brainer. We showed it to Trisha, showed it to the publisher, and we wanted someone in the Trek family anyway. So it was it was symbiotic. I didn't have to explain anything to her about, my background with Star Trek or my personal background. She already knew everything. And then she just kept delivering. And then we asked her, how quickly can you do it? I mean, she cranked that book out in, I want to say, 3 weeks, something like that.
We gave her a breakneck timeline, and she rose to the occasion. And we had been waiting so long for like that perfect alignment of our vision. And then Johnny slipped into her DMs and we swiped right on.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Like, is this really John? No, this can't be here. This is a joke. Who's playing a game with me?
That was the first thing I thought was just, I'm Jonathan Del Arco. You are not. Get out of here.
I don't have Bitcoin.
Johnny, tell her story. Tell her story as well. How she aligns with that.
Well, she's Peruvian. She grew up in Peru. I don't know what age she immigrated, but she lives in Cyprus now, but she was living in Spain. So she has an immigrant experience and a South American experience. And what was really sweet is that, we were so busy working, we didn't really get to know her very well because we're not in the same time zone, to be honest. She's on another day right now. She's probably asleep right now in Cyprus. But during the last interview we did, I got to know a little bit more about her, and I didn't know that when I sent her the transcript, she cried. She said she was very moved, and it's because she identified with Freddie, the struggle to do your art, being different, being from another country, trying to adapt to a different culture. It was all just so easy for her because emotionally she had been through all of that. So it was a perfect marriage.
And both Johnny and Adria speak English as a second language, and I was an English as a second language teacher.
Oh, wow.
They both could have very well been my students.
Isn't that crazy?
And Johnny would have driven me nuts. No, just kidding.
I would have had to been born like way later, but so yeah, it's just been very magical how it all, timing wise. I didn't know when my personal childhood story would be the most valuable in the world. I tried it in many different ways, as a pilot, as a screenplay, as an animated series, and then Trisha came up with the idea of making it a children's book 2 years ago in Las Vegas, where we will go launch the book. As it was, we were partying in Las Vegas, and she pitched the idea, and now we're going to go sell the book in Vegas at the convention, and I'm going to introduce Trisha to the Star Trek family, which she is now a very important part of.
That's right.
Well, that's great. Right. Not everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Thankfully.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's gonna get an eye full.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So, did you guys choose to go with the particulars of a children's book to kind of get the younger audience, or was that the initial goal? I know you touched on it. You were thinking about a screenplay and such, because I know it's a kind of like a pseudo autobiography. Just curious as to how
you talk about why you thought a children's book.
Well, Johnny's book could be a lot of things. It could be a memoir. It could be a feature. It could be a TV show. And that's the pilot that I had originally read was, the first episode of a television show. But because the themes were so timely and universal, and because I've read so many books to so many kids, and I'm like, this is exactly the story that they need to hear. Because we say in children's literature, you get mirrors and you get windows, and Johnny's is both a mirror, right? Like, oh, that's like my experience. I'm learning a new language, or I'm entering a new culture, or it's a window where this isn't my experience, but now this is like building in me a sense of empathy and compassion for a kid who's not like me. So I was just like, this is and it's got the best ending ever, right?
Yes.
Like, feels like an alien. Then he becomes an alien on TV. The book ends.
No spoilers. No spoilers. No.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah, it's a fantastic ending for sure, and I really am excited to say the link for the book is going to be available in the notes, both on YouTube and the podcast. So be sure to click the link and get the book. It's a little bit life-changing. It'll really set the tone for what's going on if you're not really aware.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's true. I mean, my father is migrated to the United States, and his father migrated to the United States 2 different times. Weird. It's like, how did that happen? But I can tell from their experiences that it's often very similar. There's a lot of differences between language barriers and having to deal with that struggle of fitting in and being perceived as an alien because you're not speaking the local language. It's a lot of hurdles, and to come out so successful, I mean, that's what it's all about. That's the true American dream.
It is. I mean, I always say, we came to America, we had great hopes, and in those early days, America and the communities really delivered. There was a real, I'm old, so it was a long time ago. There was a real sense of shepherding people through the process of the early days of being in this country. And, I talk about this openly. My family had to be on food stamps and Medicaid early on because there was no insurance system in America. Where we came from, we had insurance, national insurance. So my parents were very worried. And so they enrolled us in assistance so we could have healthcare. And there was a lot of shame around that, the sort of using food stamps. And there's still a lot of stigma on that. But I like to say that I'm an example, and my family is an example of a really good investment. And I think there are good investments happening in this country every day, vis-a-vis people hiring people that are migrants and immigrants and letting them earn money and buy houses and cars and go to school and get an education, become teachers or become members of society. We are allowing that to be cut off. And by what's happening with the migrant and the immigrant issue. And by doing that, we're going to strangle ourselves because my community is the community that provides farm work, teachers, nurses, on and on and on and on. So it's very foolish, in my opinion, and incredibly inhumane. So that's my soapbox.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Jace, please.
Well, I'm going to skip down our list of questions here because you guys are just a wealth.
Yeah, just answering everything.
So everything. They're like, well, they covered that one. They covered that one. They covered that one.
Okay.
So this book has
we're chatty. We're very chatty.
No, hey, you know what? I will take chatty any day.
Yeah, exactly.
This book has this wonderful message about diversity in schools. Not only immigrants, but kids who are different. Because even though I am not an immigrant myself, this book spoke to me a lot like the way that Hugh spoke to me whenever I was younger, about being your own individual and following your own passions. I just want to know, what role do you think, both of you, what do you think diversity plays in the literary development of students these days?
That's a Trisha question.
All right. Come on, teach.
He's also a teacher, so
just... come on, teach.
Are you really, Jason?
I am. I'm a reading teacher.
Are you really? Oh,
I am. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I get to interview another teacher. I get to throw these uncomfortable questions I get all the time.
Jason.
Oh my goodness. I already forgot the question. What is the role of diversity in literature?
In literary development in children.
I mean, I think I kind of spoke about that a little bit earlier about the windows and the mirrors. And so perspective taking is hugely motivating, and it's a part that builds empathy in a child or even in an adult. And so literacy is mostly about, for a child to come to a book, and we were very intentional about this with our illustrator, is we want a child to be able, who is pre-literate, to self-select that book, and or if they don't speak English, to be able to understand that story just from the pictures. So I think Adria did a really fantastic job of doing that. So we wanted this book to be accessible to everybody. And in terms of diversity in this book, we want it to be, no one culture, one language is tolerated. It is celebrated and validated. No one language is better than another language. We are one of the only countries in the world that stigmatizes multilingualism, and it's insane because you would never stigmatize a child who could play both professional basketball and hockey. Right? And so there's
right.
Yeah.
Uniquely, I'm sorry to say, America, in the United States, and it's kind of like emblematic of the anti-intellectualism of the United States. And I won't speak anymore about that because we have to look at it every single day.
Unfortunately,
multilingualism is more connections in your brain, period. Johnny already has more connections in his brain for speaking 2 languages than someone who speaks 1, and somebody that speaks 3 languages. And the fact that we have these beautiful bilingual kids walking around schools with their heads hung in shame is, to me, like criminal. And so part of this book is about celebrating all language, all culture. Any language your mom, your tia, your auntie, your yaya says I love you is a valid and amazing language and deserves to be celebrated. And I wish we could just get more people on board with that, because this English only nonsense is detrimental to us as a culture and as a country.
Well said. Well said.
And I count on your vote in November, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
He's running. You vote for her. We're in.
And I think she went and answered the next question too. So.
Oh, good. Maybe so nervous, Jason, because I found out you were teaching us something.
No, he's a good cool.
My camera goes off.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of the Trek world. Jonathan, you had an amazing experience, and it comes out in the book, but no spoilers. We're trying to not spoil anything because we want you to pick the book up. That's the goal. But Iborg, the episode that you were first in, is considered to be a turning point in how Star Trek dealt with individuality and empathy. What did that episode mean to you personally?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it was a very big moment in my life, to be honest. I had just moved to LA. I had nothing but a futon on my floor. I had lost my partner of 5 years in New York to AIDS year before. So I was great in that I was young and like getting on with life, but I wasn't okay. Mm-hmm. I was processing a ton of grief and alienation and sadness and all the things. And I opened that script one night before my audition, and that character just spoke in my ear. Exactly. It was a voice in my head that was undeniable, and I just went with it. And I played him exactly as I heard him in my head. And the shoot was the same way. It was completely effortless. I mean, the only effort was the wardrobe, which was difficult physically, but emotionally, I was 100% there, in that role. And really lucky because it was a beautifully written episode, and it turns out to be, it was really well directed and beautifully shot. Everyone's work in it is fantastic. And so it was one of those magical moments for me where everything gelled. And very grateful that that moment happened in my life. And it changed my life, because it changed my life, to be honest, because of the fans. Here I am still talking about it 30 years later.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I have to tell you something that it just occurred to me while you were saying that. I was a huge Star Trek nerd whenever I was in high school when this episode came out. I
This
think I
high
was like,
school?
yeah, I was in high school when this came out. I think I was a junior or a sophomore or something like that. But I was in a classroom by this wonderful teacher named Patty Miller, who is one of those teachers who just changes your life when you meet her. She was always trying to understand her students, and she knew I was into Star Trek. She was like a very happy, plump Southern woman, so she did not understand Star Trek. But one day she comes in and she goes, "Oh my God, I saw this episode of that Star Trek that you watch, and it was so good. It was about this boy, and I don't know what he was, but he was like wearing all this stuff, and he had to become like an. I think his name was Hugh. I think. And I was like, oh yeah, I know that one. So you turned this Southern woman into a Star Trek fan with that one episode, because she came in the next week. She's like, I saw another one. It was so good.
Amazing.
Shout out to Patty Miller for being an inspirational teacher.
Yep. Miss her every day.
Wow.
Great.
You have the next question, Jason.
Do I? I could have sworn I just asked the last one. That's okay. I'll take the next one too. It's all good. So got to get into a little bit of controversial territory here. A lot of fans see Hugh's fate in Star Trek Picard as a bit controversial. I want to know. I want to know if you had the power to write Hugh's last hurrah on Star Trek, I would like to know, what would Jonathan Del Arco like to see happen?
Well, I'm dead. I think the last hurrah has happened. But
okay, so we're changing history.
Okay,
here we go. We're changing history.
Well, I would like for him to have been in all 3 seasons of Picard, like they told me I would be.
Really? Wait a minute. No.
Yeah.
Wow, you were supposed to be all 3. Now
I'm angry by proxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been fun. But I'll tell you, if I'd done that, I would have missed on a couple of other great things I worked on that changed my perspective about myself. A couple of independent films that I didn't make any money on, but it was artistically better for me to not be on those 2 other seasons. But personally, I would have enjoyed it a lot. I really don't want to go down that road, because I feel like the fate was written, and the fact that I got to go back at all was a total surprise to me and a total gift. So it happened without my effort. So I kind of don't want to put anything out there to push anything, because I'm satiated, right? I'm satisfied. And I just think Star Trek's a weird world. There's always new creators coming on board. They're always readapting and changing and recreating and relooking at the world of Star Trek. So I think if that ever happens again, I'd be game to get into the outfit one more time. But in the meantime, I'm at peace that he's dead. I mean, I think he died heroically, because he died saving Picard and Soji and the people that he saved by staying on board and taking the hit. So I don't think his death was in vain. I just think it was a little mean and early.
Abrupt.
Yeah, well, it's a little mean.
I'm still salty about it. Girardi's out there with her weird Borg. They can clone you. Hugh will be back.
You know what's
I'm
fun?
confident that'll happen.
Here's what's fun. In Star Trek Vegas, besides the book, I have a Picard panel with the actress that killed me.
Oh wow.
Peyton. And we were in the van that morning, and she's beautiful. I mean, she's gorgeous. And she's in the van, and she's dressed up like the Romulan. She's like, yeah, so I'm gonna kill like a fan favorite character. She was like, I don't like the math on this for me. I'm like, you don't like the math, I'm getting killed.
Yeah, it's such a beloved character too.
I love her, so I'm gonna hang out with her in Vegas as well.
I will say she was great. I thought
she was
fantastic.
Oh god, yeah,
she was. Yeah, and you might have dodged a bullet not being in season 2.
Yeah, season 2 was.
You're gonna get him in trouble, Joe.
I'm not getting him in trouble.
No.
They can yell at me.
I loved season 3. I'm
too.
a Next Gen fan, and I'm an original Trek fan, so that was like just great for me. But season 2 was pretty rough.
Yeah,
it was. Rough.
Was it the ending of season 1 with the weird orchids at the end? Yeah.
Oh no, that was season 1.
Yeah, season 1. Yeah, the orchids. You're right.
Yeah, that was not particularly great either.
Yeah. So Trisha,
we all try.
Yeah, Trisha, are you ready for this Trek world? There's going to be a lot of these very strange. Like, how prepared are you for this? You're getting into a huge fandom.
I'm just going to hold Johnny's hand and hope for the best.
Oh, I mean, you're a teacher, so I'm sure that when you get on stage, and it's just like being in front of a classroom, except that the kids are bigger.
Yeah, and in cosplay.
And in cosplay, yeah.
And dress like Klingons.
yeah.
Johnny and I are having a dance party, aren't we, on one of the nights?
Yeah, so we're having on Thursday we're doing I'm doing a book reading with the illustrations projected, and we're doing a Q&A and signing books. And then on Friday we're signing books and other things all day. And then at night we're doing an 80s alien prom.
Oh.
The idea being, I didn't get to go to prom, and I'm assuming a lot of Trek fans didn't go to their prom just because we're those people that don't go to proms, don't get invited to proms, whatever. So we're having our own. And the idea is people should dress like their version of an 80s alien. You can imagine what kind of costumes we're going to see.
Those are going to be fun. So yeah, Trish, get ready.
I'm ready.
I know.
I'm probably not ready.
Now, are you guys going to cosplay as well? Or are you just...
I am.
Oh, look at you.
I'm doing a light cosplay.
Okay.
Because we're going to dinner after, so I can't do makeup. But I'm going to try to capture the element of the character a little bit.
Johnny gives good costume though for Halloween.
I do.
Last year, tell him he was the Moorish head from the White Lotus season.
Yeah,
2.
I did the full
head.
Yeah.
Lights and the music, and I mean, it was so good.
That's impressive, man. That's I got to give you credit for that.
And then I did the iceberg from SNL one year. But for Star Trek, I've never cosplayed, so I'm going to do a little bit of it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, that would be easy though. You just walk in the room and just say, "I'm Hugh."
Yeah. Just a little thing, yeah. Hi guys. So how did you guys end up meeting, and what started the collaboration process for the book?
Tinder.
Nice. No, we met.
We were lovers.
Yeah, I was gonna say. We met each other on Grindr, so it's all good.
That would have been a very not satisfactory date for either one of us.
Tell me about it.
Sorry, Jason.
I don't remember, Johnny.
We met through Steven, I'm sure, right?
Mutual friend.
We must have. We have this group of friends that Stephen Jang, who's my agent and friend, and who's coming to Vegas, is like the epicenter of. He's sort of like all things spout from his brain, essentially. And there's this giant group of friends that kind of hang out together, socially, etc. And Trisha was a part of that, and I came into that, and we vibed early on, and have been friends for a long time. And yeah. Trisha's a wonderful writer. She's got a lot of things in the screenplays, working on screenplays and series and all kinds of stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, you've been an outspoken advocate for both the LGBTQIA plus community and for immigrants. How do you think your role in Star Trek influenced your advocacy, or vice versa?
I don't think the role in Star Trek influenced it. I just think anytime you're on a show like Star Trek or any series that gives you a platform, you have just more people that will listen to you, or you have a bigger platform, essentially. So it creates like an opportunity to do other work if you choose to. And, Star Trek, by and large, the people that love Star Trek are open-minded and open-hearted. You have some exceptions, as we see every once in a while, where you're like, did you really watch the show?
Did you not understand what?
I don't even understand when they're like, why are you so political? I'm like, Star Trek's political. I mean, so political.
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry was so political. I mean, the series in the 1960s broke ground on so many different issues, right? So definitely being a part of Star Trek emboldened me to be more outspoken. And I remember I've been in Star Trek from my mid-20s into now my late 50s. So it's been a big part of my personal development as well. The influence of other people, traveling, meeting fans from other countries, etc. It's been a part of my own personal development.
Trisha, did you watch Star Trek at all before you met Jonathan, or was this just like
not as
by
much
the way?
since I met Jonathan, and then
Not as much as she's going to watch this weekend.
You got to know this because he's going to ask you. So you better learn all about my character.
She's sitting over there going, "What is Hugh? I don't know."
I know that much, but I have a lot to learn for sure.
Yeah. It's one of those things you can kind of jump in wherever and kind of get caught up pretty quickly, because it's the sole core of it is kind of transitional between all of the different series. So that'll be useful to you if that nugget helps at all. Somebody asks you a question.
I'll let you guys know after the convention.
Yeah, you're tagging.
Yeah.
Wow. Well. All right, Jason.
Jonathan, what do you see as your legacy to the world?
Oh my God, am I dying?
I haven't heard anything. It's just a speculative question.
Your hair.
Your hair. Did you have a nice hair?
I would say a clips of my hairstyles over the last 50 years. No, too soon to tell. I mean, it's not children because I don't have children, and it's not pets because sadly pets, you outlive them. So yeah, we'll see what it is. I have no idea. And it's probably not for me to ever even say it'll be its own thing. But I hope it's something good. I mean, I hope it's something optimistic and helpful, Yeah.
I'll say it'll be Freddie and his story. And
I was going to say,
Freddie will live forever. And Johnny's advocacy. Show him your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
We made Freddie's
This
shirt.
is not.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Freddie's shirts already. Wow, that was just
So back in 2015, I did one with Hugh, and it was a big hit at all the protests. And I was thinking of doing one this year. And then when we pushed the timeline up on the book, I thought, well, it should be the character and not Hugh, because I own the character. Trisha and I own the character.
That's
probably a better
smart
call.
reason.
It's probably a better call to have it be the character and not Hugh, just in case. But
yes.
So we people can get that online as well, where they buy the book.
Oh, great! So the same link in the show notes. You can
get
the shirt as
so
well.
It's freddythealien.com is our own website. You can also get the book at Barnes & Noble and other places, but we're guiding people there because I think Bezos has enough money.
I agree. Did he buy Barnes & Noble too?
No, but he owns Amazon and it's on there as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I'd prefer people use the link below.
And Johnny's going to be available to travel to different schools and school districts to read the book to kids of all ages and to do Q&As with students and, talk about all the. I mean, we should probably bring you guys so you guys could do the moderating with your great questions. But hopefully
we're available.
We're available.
Right.
Well, he's a teacher already, and I'm connected.
Right. Well, Jason, we'll come to your district.
All right.
All those things in depth, because there's a lot of great conversation points in that book, and a lot to learn, obviously, from not just the book, from Johnny and his story too, which we think will be really inspirational for adults and kids.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you a funny thing that makes this full circle. When I did Star Trek in that little apartment, I was living in that little apartment in Hollywood with a futon on the floor. When the episode aired, maybe 2 months later, this little Latino boy next door knocked on my door. I ran into him and he said, "Hey, my teacher likes Star Trek. I told my teacher, I know you, you're my neighbor." And she said, "Stop lying." And I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." She was very mad and got on his case about lying, whatever. I said, would you tell your teacher that I want to call her? And so he goes, "Ooh, okay." So he gets her number. And I call this woman and I'm like, "It's Jonathan Del Arco." And she was, "Oh my God, it's true." I said, "Of course it's true." And I said, hey, I'd like to come talk to your kids. So I went to her elementary school. That was actually my first time talking about Star Trek, was at a school, at a crazy, overcrowded elementary school in Hollywood. It was bananas.
Oh.
There were like 50 kids in this tiny little room.
Yeah, that sounds
and that's what launched my Star Trek chat back, was the kids. So there you go. Full circle.
So as you're teaching her about Star Trek, Trisha, are you going to be teaching him about how to handle the kids? Because you're going to get wild questions from kids too.
I know. I kind of can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm not going to prepare him at all. Johnny can handle himself. He'll be fine.
Are you going to cold water him? Like, come on, that's your buddy.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
I did a one-man show for 4 years.
That's right.
That catered to nothing but the LA school district.
Oh.
It was a show about LA gangs.
Oh.
And I can tell you, those kids are tough as hell.
Yeah.
And they gave me hell.
Oh.
And I gave them hell right back. So no worries. I know how to handle children.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And you played like 15 characters or something, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I played 32 characters.
Yeah. So what was this about? Like
it's a book called Always Running. And it's a memoir of a former gang member in LA who moved to Chicago and got a life. And at 19, his son joined the gangs, and he was heartbroken because he'd left the gangs, and wrote this book called Always Running, which is probably one of the favorite books of LA high school students. They pick it over. It's what's brilliant about the book is this guy does not mince his word. Like, he doesn't talk down to the kids. It's written in all the graphic details that you would expect in an adult book, and it's a young adult book. And so the play was a one-man show based on that. Yeah.
They do love it. I taught it in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book. It really is.
So you taught high school. So, I mean, that's got to be wild.
I taught kindergarten through 8th grade, high school,
Oh.
graduate, and the parents of my kids I taught.
Ooh, you went full gamut.
I taught almost every grade level, which means I always say, like, what do you call someone who's taught almost every grade level? Psychopath.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most memorable piece of feedback you've ever gotten from a student, Trish?
There was one kid who I was teaching in South Central, and he was struggling to read, which was, heartbreaking because he was like 16 years old. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I had 180 students. How can I like bring this kid up to grade level? And so I kind of just defaulted to this thing that one of my teachers did to me when I was in 8th grade. Was I said to him, you know what, you're a wordsmith. And he was like, what's that? I said, look it up. And he goes to the dictionary, he looks it up, and he's like, so I'm like a blacksmith, but with words? I was like, yeah, that's you. Now, he was not at the time. And so the next day he walks in, no joke, carrying a dictionary. Oh. And so he was like, yo, Miss D, you know what sucks? Anti-establishmentarianism. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then he became like the resident wordsmith of and so the girls would be like, hey, wordsmith, what's another word for big? He'd be like, huge bungus. Like, he became like the words guy. And so I was like, oh my gosh, all you had to do was sort of reverse engineer this identity and validate him in something that he wasn't even yet good at. And then he spent a lot of time and energy trying to be that thing that we labeled him that was positive, because it was better than labeling him what school had labeled him, which was like low, remedial, special ed. And now he was wordsmith, and he was going to do anything it could to be wordsmith. And then 5 years later, I ran into him in a CVS, and he's like, yo, Miss D. And he told me he was at El Camino City College, and he said, guess what my major is? And I was like, I literally have no idea. And he went, comparative literature. And I was like, wow, I did not see that for you. And he went, because I was your wordsmith. And I was like, it worked. Wow. Now I tell teachers, I give like speeches all around the country to different school districts, validate that kid, give them a chance at a new identity, and watch what happens. It's kind of magical.
Yeah, you just like changed the trajectory of this kid's life for the better.
Yeah, just by lying. Just kidding.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's all true, especially the lies.
Well, it's like kind of part of the story too with Johnny, right? Like, a teacher changes his life, validates him around something that he was not yet good at.
It's true.
right? No spoilers, but in the book, he says, well, what if I'm going to be bad? And she was like, sweet, then be bad at it. That's how you get
be good at being bad at it. That's
and this is, you know, to build resilience in our kids so they don't give up after the first time. Like, expect it to be hard, but don't give up.
Was there a teacher that emulated that part in the book, Jonathan? Was there somebody that inspired that character? Real person, based on a real person?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's based on 3 different people that I dedicate the book to. My first music teacher, Michelle Fraioli, was really the key person because that's the right age. She just took a shine to me and introduced me to theater and all of it. And then I had another teacher in high school who was my English teacher and also involved in the theater department. And she became like my safe harbor in school. I just hung out with her and we're still friends.
Oh, that's
needless
great.
to say. I'm friends with both of them, actually.
Oh, great.
And then the third one was someone who's much older now, Mrs. Goldenberg, who ran the school newspaper. And she just, she knew I didn't have the money to go to theater. I love theater and, you know, I wanted to be in theater and do theater, but Broadway was very expensive. So she would take me to plays all the time. Yeah, and pay. So when I got Star Trek, I was in New York, it's like maybe 5 years after I graduated. I ran into Patrick Stewart at Barney's shopping. And he said, oh, how are you? He introduced me to the woman he was dating and talked about Hugh. And I said, I hear you're doing Christmas Carol. Oh, you must come. You must. Take this number down. So he gave me the number of his person to get tickets from and bought house seats.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't tell Audrey whatever I was taking her, but I had Audrey meet me in the city. And I took her to see the play. And then I took her backstage to meet Patrick.
Wow.
And it was a beautiful, like, and I think that's the last time I actually saw her. It was a long, long time ago. But I got to share that back with her. And she was just so thrilled. So
that's amazing.
I really hope that some of the kids that I've taught theater to are watching right now. I'm just saying.
You want the
I'll get you. I'll get you backstage with Jonathan. How's that? All right, Jays.
Oh goodness, we've actually burned through all of our questions. Let's see what I got here in my backups. Okay. Okay. So, do you see writing a book like this as a form of advocacy, or do you just see it as just wanting to tell a story? And if advocacy comes because of that, great.
Yeah, it's telling a story for me. I believe deeply in the power of storytelling. I do a lot of keynote speeches at different organizations and corporations, and I did a speech at the FBI on diversity in front. I was introduced by Mueller. I have a picture to prove it. I don't have the tape of it because the FBI
they confiscated
it. It was
They've been losing a lot of things lately, haven't they?
Files.
It was the first Pride event at DOJ, and I had done a speech at another event, business leaders event, about my story. It was just my story, literally. It was literally what the book is, but a little bit more graphic. I used more curse words at the FBI. I dropped the F-bomb at the FBI.
Nice.
And then this woman at the FBI saw it online and emailed me. I got an email from the FBI. It totally freaked me out. And
I knew I should have copied that VHS. No.
She reminded to come to the FBI and give my speech, which was what? And I get there, I get through security, and I'm in the locked, and Mueller is there. Like, the head of the FBI is introducing me. It was bananas. So my point being that story is what matters. If you're telling authentic story about your life, and it can be whatever, a survival story, a story about whatever. If you're being authentic, you could cut through a lot of the bullshit and get to a lot of messaging. So you should never really strain for advocacy. You should strain for honesty, and then allowing yourself to be out there talking openly. When I campaign for candidates, I just tell my story of why I'm voting for them, why it matters to me. So it's always story for me. Sorry.
Are you involved in politics a lot lately?
Or me? Yeah, I've been a surrogate, which is basically a spokesperson for.
Yeah.
I was a surrogate for Obama, Hillary,
Oh,
all the blue people.
all the blue people. Okay, so you're on the
All the blue people. Yeah.
I was
Just the blues.
Just the blues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was an alternate delegate, so I know some of that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I got to go I got to go to one convention.
Oh,
it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
That'll be the follow-up book. I mean, what do you guys have planned after this book?
Freddie goes to Washington.
Freddie goes to Washington. That sounds about right. Yeah.
There's no place
We're
for
moving
Freddie
Orange
right
Stein out of the White House.
No.
Then we'll all go for purple because Freddie's purple.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh man. Well, this has been an absolutely amazing experience chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us in the Captain's Quadrant. I think that this book is going to change the trajectory. I mean, Superman just came out. They really put an emphasis on the immigrant story, and I think that kindness that they're showing in the Superman movie is going to resonate. And I think your book is a ripe time coming out at this point in time. And I think that this is going to be a catalyst to kind of change the direction of some of the more harsh things that have been happening. And I just absolutely love the message that you guys share. So I wish you the greatest success. And again, we got the links below. We're going to be sharing your book on the link on our Instagram and our other socials, Blue Sky and such, because we really want this to be a great success. And we wish we could go and hang out at the dance party in Vegas with you guys.
Why don't you come? It's not
help, guys. I'm going to need reinforcements. Joe and Jason. I need
yeah. Well, Jason and Joe.
I am a freakish giant. That is
you'll be surprised. I'm the tiny one. So guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we will be in touch soon.
Thank you
guys.
Thank you. And it's going to play a quick, I'll edit this out. It's going to be a quick outro and then it'll come back. So just don't go anywhere.
Okay.